Assalamu alaikum, dear learners. I welcome you all to the Allama Iqbal Open University studio. I believe that you people are enjoying these classes as much as we are doing. In each program, we try to bring something new as well as interesting for you. As we all know, the English language is the medium for international communication. The world is now a global village. We share culture and knowledge of other nations to come closer. But without knowing the English language, we cannot do this. And moreover, it has become the medium of instructions in our higher studies in Pakistan. And also, it is the language of trade and business. The topic that we have chosen today is question tags. And we have our expert, Mr. Arshad Mahmood, who's going to tell us about our topic that we have chosen today. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Arshad. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
I'm so sure the way Mr. Arshad is teaching us all English, none of us is going to find English a hard language. Thank you so much. We're really thankful. And the topic that we have chosen today is question tags. I would like you to tell us something about question tags.
Tag, if you look at the word tag, tag is something that is attached to something. For example, when you buy a sweater, a jersey, there's a tag.
There's a tag over
that
it.
shows it is made by this company, this is the price, and this is the fabric used in it. Same is the case with question tags. These are small statements or small tags attached to the end of a statement. Sort of, you see, we use the term dum challa.
Yeah.
something very local, but I think that will help learners learn this idea. So first of all, I'll tell you what question tags are. Question tags are small questions that often come at the ends of sentences in speech and sometimes in informal writing. Few examples for you. A strange boy, isn't he? They're nice, aren't they? So some people pronounce aren't they, that is wrong. That sounds something very ridiculous. It is aren't they. So R should be dropped here.
Can I add an example here?
Sure.
It's a nice weather out there, isn't it?
Good.
Am I right?
So that's right. In the beginning, you've started learning good.
Thank
So third example from my side is, the movie is interesting, isn't it? So there's so many examples we can use. Just you said, the weather outside is nice, isn't it? Good. So these are the question tags. And something technical that you must keep in mind is, question tags in the negative form are usually contracted. Contracted means they're used in the short form.
Right.
For example, have not becomes haven't, is not becomes isn't. But full forms are possible in formal speech. That's my book, isn't it? You can see I'm not saying is not it or is it not, isn't it? And there must be question
Mark at the end.
You are Imran, aren't you? She's a teacher, isn't she? But look at formal situation. They promised to reply us within 6 months. Did they not?
Right.
So informal, because this is usually used in writing. So in writing, they suggest that it should be formal thing. For example, in our examination system, if you write something informal that is harmful, that may cause wrong and you may lose the marks. For example, he doesn't come should not be preferred to he does not come. So must use the full form. Not aren't, but are they not in writing. So same is the case with these question tags. We must use a formal, that is a full form, did they not, in writing.
So am I right if I say writing and speaking is a bit different as far as English is concerned?
I think in all languages, when you're speaking something, you are maybe, for example, talking to a friend, you don't have any sort of limitations or any boundaries. You're free to discuss anything. But when you're, let's say, you're asked to write something about something for, let's say, a university or an exam essay, you have to be very formal.
And precise.
You cannot precise. You cannot use, for example, the things like there's a hell of a difference. You should say there's a great deal of difference.
Right.
Hell of a difference maybe. That is slang or street. But we must use formal sort of things in writing and formal situations.
So slangs are properly prohibited when we are writing English.
Exactly. We must avoid them.
So dear students, keep that in mind.
So the question is, why should we use question tags? They are mainly used to check whether something is true or to ask for agreement. I mean, to ask for confirmation.
Confirmation.
For example, if I say, you're feeling well, aren't you?
Right.
It is some sort of confirmation.
It's like what I said is right or not. Confirm it.
Yes. For example, you're watching a match and you ask your sister or somebody in the family, it's really interesting, isn't it?
Isn't it?
So
Right.
you know it is interesting, they know interesting, but just for the sake of confirmation, agreement you want to. And this is very commonly used in English. We may not use this in Urdu language. For example, speaking with each other in Urdu language, we don't say, ye acha lag raha hai, kya nahi? This sort of thing is not used in Urdu. I'm not sure about other languages.
In
but
Urdu, we do use slang like henna.
Hannah, exactly. That might be question tag.
That is a question tag.
Yes. So for that, definitely tone is also just like a question. It must be rising. So
I
some
hope-
examples. Yes,
Sorry.
please.
I hope everything that is being taught to you by Mr. Arshad is very clear and very precise. So be careful when you're being taught.
So I said question tag is used to ask for agreement or to ask for confirmation. I'll give some examples.
Sure.
This is your room, isn't it? Aisha is very hardworking, isn't she? Sultan and Jafar are very close friends, aren't they? And again, be careful in pronouncing aren't. It should not be aren't, it is aren't. I am a teacher, aren't I? Strange, isn't it? Aren't I? Or here you can also say, I'm a teacher, am I not? But usually people use aren't I. It is strange, but we have to use this. And the last example is, you're a student, aren't you? So one may ask how these question tags can be used. Right, the question tags are used after affirmative sentences. Affirmative, you know, positive. And then we can also use after negative sentences, but we must not use these tags after questions because they're already in the question form. I'll give you some examples. First, positive. This is Sitara Market, isn't it? Then the second is, this is not my book, is it? But we can't say, is it Sitara Market, isn't it? Or, is this my book, is it? That will be wrong. You might have noticed that when we use a positive sentence, it takes a negative tag. And when we make a negative sentence or statement, it takes a positive tag. So mathematically it is positive followed by negative and negative followed by positive. Some examples. First, positive sentence followed by negative tag. She is Rabia, isn't she? Or this is my house, isn't it? And then I can give you some examples of a negative statement being followed by positive tag. She is not my friend, is she? The kids are not feeling well, are they? Then you have to be very much careful in the use of helping verbs. Helping verbs are the verbs which help the main verbs. For example, is, am, are, was, were, has, do. These are called helping verbs. If the main sentence has a helping verb, this is repeated in the question tag. Something very, very useful. You must remember this clue. I'll repeat it. If the main sentence has a helping verb, this helping verb is repeated in the question tag. For example, we should help the poor, shouldn't we? So in this sentence, should is the helping verb and help is the main verb, and should is going to be repeated, and this will change into negative form because the main sentence is positive. Second example, the machine is working, isn't it? So here the helping verb, I hope you can guess, it is, and the main verb is working. Third sentence, Ahmed must go, mustn't he? Must is a helping verb and go is a main verb. And you must remember, mustn't should not be pronounced as mustn't. It is mustn't he. Then we shall go, shan't we? Interesting, I think. Shall not is pronounced as shan't in contracted or short form. They will meet the president, won't they? Just like shall not becoming shan't, will not becomes won't, remember. And here you must be able to differentiate between won't as or contracted form of will not from W-A-N-T, want. Just notice the different pronunciations of these words. One is won't. I won't go means I will not go, and I want to go. That is W-A-N-T means I wish to go. And the last example is, you wouldn't like a cat, would you? In this sentence, wouldn't is the helping verb, like is a main verb, and it is changed into would because here in the main sentence it is negative. That will change into positive when it is changed into question tag. Dear learners, I'm quite confident that you've got the idea of these helping verbs, that when we use a helping verb in the main statement, it is also repeated in the question tag. Now let's see what Ms. Rizwana has learned. Can you make a sentence with helping verbs?
Sure. Can he speak English?
No, we don't use question tags
Right.
at the end of a question. We use question tags when there is a statement that is negative or positive.
Positive, right.
So try now.
I can speak English. Can I?
Can't I?
Can't I?
Try again. Good.
He can run very fast.
Can't he? Okay. Now make a sentence where the statement is negative and the tag is positive.
The statement negative and the tag is positive. He cannot speak English. Can he?
Very good. Great.
See, I have learned.
That's good. Now we have to deal with the tenses. The question tag of a sentence will always be the tense of the main sentence. For example, if the main sentence is in the present continuous tense, the tag must take one of the forms of be. And what are the forms of be? There is am, in present, with was and were in the past, and you've got been as being as well, depending on the form of be in the main sentence. For example, the children are playing cricket, aren't they? So are playing, are is a form of be that is being repeated into
In the tag.
Yes, that is aren't they. And the second sentence is the woman is S-E-W-I-N-G. How will you pronounce it? S-E-W-I-N-G.
Sewing.
Good. Most of the people say
Sewing.
because that is sewing machine. So the woman is sewing her frock, isn't she? I'm repeating is and changing into negative form because the main sentence is in positive. I'm talking, am I not or aren't I? The farmers have been picking apricots for 2 weeks, haven't they? And here I've used the word apricot on purpose because most Pakistanis and many foreigners, I've been teaching people from Turkey, China, from Arab world, they come and they pronounce the word apricot.
It's apricot.
Apricot, but apple remains apple.
Yeah.
Right.
I would like to confirm the pronunciation of the word parents. Is it parents or it's parents?
It is, in fact, there's a sound after pa sound that is pronounced as aya. So the word is like parents.
Parents.
It's hard, but even somebody pronounces parents, it doesn't make much difference to the meaning. So that is okay. But if somebody is pronouncing a word that is, let's say, that changes the meanings, for example, look at the word C-E-double-L-O. C-E-double-L-O. Ask people, conduct a survey. I believe more than 99% in Pakistan will say it is sallow, but the word is shallow.
Right.
Strange, C giving us cha sound.
Right.
So one has to be careful there where meaning changes. Right, negative statements and positive tags. The children are not playing cricket. Are they? The woman is not sewing her frock.
Is she?
Good. I'm not talking. Am I? The mother has not been cooking since 12 o'clock. Has she? Now look at some examples in past tense. Sami came yesterday. Didn't he? We cannot say did he not.
Did he not?
Because in spoken we use the contracted or the short form. Zara was eating pizza. I hope you know.
Yeah,
Again,
I know.
one of the words that is a big problem for the people. They say pizza because Pakistani people, they simply, they pronounce a word according to spelling. And in spelling it is za. They think it should be za, but it is an Italian letter taken from the Italian alphabet, maybe coming from Latin, where za, this za sound is changed into ts.
Pizza.
Ts. So it is pizza. And it is not pizzeria, it is pizzeria, the shop that sells pizzas. So Zara was eating pizza in the morning, wasn't she? The kids had slept before their father returned, hadn't they? The gardener had been watering the plants since morning, hadn't he? Right. So now we have got negative statements and positive tags. Tahir did not tell the whole story, did he? I was not sleeping when he came, was I? Good. Joseph had not taught anywhere before he came here, had he? No, you have to tell the tag. I'll make a sentence.
Right.
David had not been painting his house since morning.
Had he?
Good. Now we've done tenses, present tense and past tense. Now we'll discuss something about future tense. Some examples in the future. Now, Raja will pass the exam. Won't he? Again, must be differentiated.
That's a little difficult
won't.
one.
Yeah, different. And people usually don't know how to pronounce will not. It is won't. It must be different from W-A-N-T, that is won't. He wants to go and he won't go means he will not go. The birds will have flown by the end of summer, won't they? We shall be flying tomorrow, shan't we? What does it mean, we shall be flying tomorrow? We are aeroplane or we are birds?
We shall be flying by the aeroplane.
Good. The children will have been playing since morning, won't they?
Right.
Now some negative statements followed by positive tags. Danish will not come tomorrow, will he? Scientists will have discovered so much by the end of the century, won't they? We shall not be discussing this issue again.
Shall we?
Good. The planes will have been flying since morning, won't they? Good.
I hope that whatever is being taught to you is so easy and so precise that no difficulty is going to be faced by you guys.
We've learned so much about these question tags. Here is a technical point that you must keep in mind. That is, when there are 2 to 3 verbs in a sentence, you might be confused as to which verb should be changed into question tag. Right, and I've observed many people, many foreign learners, even some of the teachers, they get confused as to which one should be changed into question tag. In such cases, the question tag will be formed from the first verb out of the whole group. For example, look at the sentence, the soldiers have been marching for a long time. No, this will take a tag that is haven't they. Now if you observe this sentence, the soldiers, noun, have been marching. So here have and been have been used as helping verbs and marching is a main verb. Now we have to use tag out of have and been, and since have is coming first, so we'll say haven't they. I'll repeat the sentence, the soldiers have been marching for a long time, haven't they? And the second example is, they must have mended the oven, not oven, O-V-E-N, oven, mustn't they? Because must is being used before have. The sentence is, they must have mended the oven, mustn't they? And the last example is, Khalid would be coming soon, wouldn't he? Now one more point is meaning and intonation. You know, in different languages, people use intonation in different ways, but intonation is the key feature of all natural languages. You use intonation, you use rising voice, rising tone, falling tone to convey different meanings. So sometimes these intonation patterns are used to say something grammatically. I mean, something that you can't say as a piece of grammar. For example, you can't make a question, but just with the help of intonation, you change the sentence into a question form. So in speech, we show the exact meaning of a question tag with the help of intonation. If the tag is a real question, that is, if we really want to know something and are not sure of the answer, we use a rising tone. The voice goes up. So for rising tone, the voice has to go up. For example, the meeting is at 4 o'clock, isn't it? So you can see my voice is going up. You gave me the money, didn't you? Again, because I didn't know, I was not sure whether the person gave me the money or not. On the other hand, if the tag is not a real question, if we are not sure of the answer, we use a falling intonation. That means the voice goes down. Mehdi Hassan is a very popular singer, isn't it? Isn't he? Sorry. So here the voice is going down because we know that he's a great singer. For requests, yes, we use this tag in requests too. We often ask for help or information by using the structure negative statement plus question tag. Got it? Negative statement plus question tag. For example, you couldn't lend me £1, could you? Here I'm simply requesting somebody to help me, to give me some money. You haven't seen my watch anywhere, have you? Now the next concept is imperatives. Imperatives are the statements like order, request. We also use tags in these statements. After these imperatives, we often use won't you. That is a short form of will not. And why? just to invite people to do things. For example, do sit down, won't you? Take some more tea, won't you? But after imperatives, we often use will, would, can, can't, could to tell or ask people to do things. In other words, maybe to order them. Give me that ballpoint, will you? Open one of the windows, would you? Do it at once, can't you? And after a negative imperative, we use will you. For example, don't forget, will you? And there is something very interesting, let's. Let's. In Urdu, we can say, for example, chalo, ye kaam karte hain, this sort of thing. Let's. And after let's, we use shall we. It is something strange, doesn't follow the regular pattern of question tags. The example is, let's have a party, shall we? And do you know how to answer? Yes, I'll tell you. Let's have a party, shall we? And you will say, yes, let's. After the words like nothing, nobody, somebody, etc., we use it as a question tag to refer to nothing. For example, nothing can happen now, can it? We use they to refer to nobody, somebody, and everybody. For example, nobody helped me, did they?
Well, here, Mr. Arshad, I would like to ask you how these question tags are used in our daily language speech.
I mean, you want to say, are they really important?
Are they really important?
I think if you watch BBC or if you watch CNN or any English channel, you will see that in interviews or in dialogues, even in dramas and movies, these are very frequently used by
yes.
the compeer, by the guest. So they are very common feature of English, especially, I must say, in formal situations, in informal situations, in dialogues, in interviews.
Right.
And you can see these things in newspaper. For example, I've brought some examples today, just 2 examples I would like to give. This is the English newspaper, where the person writes, he says, he wrote several masterpieces in Sindhi language and literature, didn't he?
Right.
You see what he wrote is the second, that is simple past tense, so the tag he made was also in the same tense. I'll give you one more example, that is, the education department should look into the issue immediately, shouldn't it? So helping verb being repeated.
Right.
So these are very important.
So we can say the importance of question tags is not negligible.
Yes, and we must learn. For a foreign language learner, it's something very important. So this is what I had for today's program, and I hope I'll bring something new, something equally interesting for the next program as well.
Inshallah. So dear learners, today we have learned so much about question tags, haven't we? See, I'm already giving you good examples. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson that we taught you today with the help of Mr. Arshad Mahmood. So I hope you guys are going to take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next program with some new topic and an interesting one. Take care. Allah Hafiz.